So right now we're standing in, I think, the nicest facility I've ever been in my entire life. We are at AT&T Stadium the day before Ohio State plays Texas in the Cotton Bowl with a chance to get to the national championship game. I'm Stephen Means. That's Stefan Krajisnik, and that's Andrew Gillis. That might be an outrageous statement by me, but these are your outrageous predictions. It's time to get wild. Stefan, is this the most outrageously beautiful place you've ever been in, and what's your prediction?
Yeah, well, if I really wanted to get outrageous, I'd say this nice stadium might lead to a Super Bowl one day for the Cowboys, but that ain't happening. My outrageous prediction for Ohio State, Texas is 2 touchdowns for Carnell Tate. He's been kind of quiet this postseason, this playoff run for Ohio State. I think a big reason why is because Jeremiah Smith has been very loud. Emeka Egbuka has been very loud in what they've been able to do. This Texas team, I think, can scheme up and have the talent to do enough to maybe slow down Jeremiah and Emeka compared to how they performed against Oregon and Tennessee. And slowing them down is very relative. That could still be 100-plus receiving yards for one of those guys. But I think this is a game set up well for Carnell Tate to have a big performance. We talked about it on Buckeye Talk all week. It feels like he's kind of due for one of those big games. And we saw it, against Northwestern. We've seen it, particularly early in some games. I think at Michigan State was one of the games where, he kind of got out hot, and then teams have to adjust as that kind of goes on. But I think this is a game where, he shows up and reminds everyone, hey, there's another 5-star, potential first-round pick on this roster at receiver, and it's Carnell Tate. So 2+ touchdowns for him.
He's got 2 catches total the last 2 games combined, 1 in each game. So you're saying 2 touchdowns. I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. Andrew, is this the most beautiful place you've ever been?
No, we were there last week.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute, Stephen. This is maybe the nicest NFL stadium I've seen. We got the video board in the back. It's beautiful here. What I also think is going to be beautiful, nice segue, is Ohio State's defense. I think what we saw against Oregon, they had 8 sacks in that game. That was pretty outrageous that they had 8 sacks. They're going to have 8 sacks again. I think Jim Knowles is going to look at Quinn Ewers and look at this offense and say, if they run the ball on us, that's how they beat us. If they run the ball on us, control the clock, control the game flow. I mentioned this on the pod. That is, I think, how Texas wins this game. And I think it's possible. I'm not trying to poo-poo Texas's chances here, right? I think Ohio State is going to win the game, but Texas, I think, is going to have to run the ball to win. I think Texas is going to have to move the ball slowly and methodically down the field to win. And I think Jim Knowles is going to try to counteract that. I think they're going to send a lot at Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is not exactly the most mobile quarterback that they're going to play, and I think that matters, and I think Jim knows that. So I think Jim Knowles, they didn't blitz a lot against Oregon, and they still got pressure. I think they're going to blitz a lot this time against Texas, and I think they are still going to get that pressure. So Ohio State is going to get after Quinn Ewers. I think they're going to try to make his life very, very difficult, and they're going to have 8 sacks for the second straight game.
I'm going to make you put names on those sacks.
Okay. Let's go JT 1, Jack 2, Cody Simon 1, Sonny 1, Caleb Downs 1, Tyleek 1, and then Caden Curry 1.
Yeah, sack last game, so I like that list. Kenyatta Jackson would like a word with you, but it's fine. It's fine. Somebody has to get forgotten in those. I'm going Travion Henderson, 160 total yards combined between running and receiving. His season high is 134. That's what he had against Tennessee, 80 running, 54 receiving. He's had a couple other games where he's had 60 and 40, 70 and 24. But I think this is a game for him because of how Texas plays. They're going to do everything they can to try to take away Jeremiah Smith. We'll see if it works. They're going to do everything they can to take away the downfield threat, which Will Howard all of a sudden is one of the best in college football. Go get the text 614-350-3315 to find out why. Stefan told you why. So I think as a response to that, Will Howard, be patient, check down to Travion Henderson, who has shown us over time he can turn a 2-yard check down into a 22-yard gain. And in 2 games into this college football playoff, in both of those games, he's had a long touchdown run. So 160 total yards for Travion Henderson. It would be the most he's had this season, the most he's had really in a couple of seasons. A fully healthy Travion Henderson being as outrageous as the building we are standing in. Get the text 614-350-3315. We went and talked about this on Buckeye Talk too, so go listen to that wherever you find podcasts. Ohio State, Texas in the Cotton Bowl on Friday. Steven, Stefan, Andrew, see you after the game.